southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. And today we got on Kade Weatherford, a reoccurring guest, and we got on Tanner from Venku. And if y'all have not heard of Venku, they're kind of, Dad, what would be the best way to describe Venku in like 10 seconds? Like a booking agency for
Yeah, I kind of look at it that way, but I think best way to tell it is let Tanner tell it.
Yeah.
You know, Tanner, explain to everybody, because I know, like, at first, when Tristan first told me about Venku, I go, who? And I was like, Venku, what's that? And then it was a very unique name, you know, and
it
so...
used to be called something else, but I don't remember what they used to be called.
So it was originally Outdoor 360.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
That was the Outdoor 360. That's what it
And
was.
so actually, Venku is actually Czechoslovakian for outdoors.
Oh, wow. All right, cool.
So, a little fun fact.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool deal. But yeah,
so,
Go Islamic.
as far as as far as what it is, Venku is Venku was started out as a pretty much like you're talking about helping guides and outfitters fill dates, you know, and that was primarily what we went into. We're now going into adding some tools to actually help outfitters with all their scheduling, all their payment processing, and some things like that. That just pretty much, I mean, is we're still going to keep the, helping outfitters fill their available dates, but anybody that comes on with us, we're actually going to be able to just make their lives much easier, basically. And, I know Kade can probably attest to this. All the scheduling and payment processing and chasing down payments is the kind of part that sucks a little bit of the fun out of the guiding. And so we're more getting tailored towards taking all that part out and just letting outfitters worry about the hunting part of it.
Yeah, letting the guides guide.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to tell you just like this. I'm not going to name any names, Mallard Bay, but you don't you're a lot. You guys actually, so I get phone calls. I just got a phone call yesterday from somebody wanting, that I get as a guide, you get phone calls at least once a month. Sometimes once a week from all these websites saying, hey, man, if you pay us $700, we'll run some ads for you.
Right.
Let's do that. We'll do that. So I'll tell you like I said, I'm not going to name any names, Mallard Bay, but I was paying a bunch of money. I'm not going to say how much, $350 a month to basically not do anything. They just didn't do nothing. I should have just wrote a check, made it out, just left the memo blank and threw it out the window. Because that's exactly what they were doing. I did not book a hunt from Mallard Bay, not one.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow!
And the cool thing with Venmo is, the cool thing is with the Venku. What's so damn funny now?
Oh God, nothing. You continue right on.
Just keep going.
I'm talking and I'm taking a starter apart. Give me a break here. Surprised I didn't call it starter. The cool thing is with Venku is, y'all take a little bit, but it's not like you're going to break the bank. You take a little commission off of what you're going to make, but still, that's where I think it's like, what, not even 5%?
Yeah, so it's 5%.
Okay, so it is 5%.
Yeah, with the host, and and then there's a 10% booking fee.
But you see, that little bit though is still worth it to me because I didn't do shit. You guys found me the people, okay?
Yep.
With all these other guys, Mallard Bay,
You're paying up front.
I'm paying them and getting making no money in return.
Right.
Yeah. Well, our
and my thing is I don't care if my guide service got 1,200 likes on a picture that you put of me on Instagram. I don't care. That doesn't make me any money. Just cool. I mean, if I had just a super big ego and just cared that everybody cared that I was shooting ducks or geese, I guess it'd be great. I don't really care. I'm here to. The goal is to make money, pay my lease and make a little bit of money.
Well, hunts are what's paying the bills is kind of, the way that we look at it. And
well, exactly. And that's the thing.
With us not being subscription based, we think that kind of is an incentive for us, that
was the sell point on me. That was
and then going forward, as we incorporate this kind of what I'm talking about with the scheduling and the payment processing, it's going to be a lot more inclusive and an all-in-one tool for an outfitter to just, like I said, just do your job of being able to kill, right? Just go hunt, and taking a lot of that stress of just the scheduling and the payments out of it. And that's kind of what we're going to. And on top of that, being able to get you your open dates filled. So if you say, man, I've got this week right here, just for whatever reason, it's always stubborn. It's hard for me to book. Well, then we hammer to get that booked, and that's, that's just part of us doing business. That's why we're not subscription based. It keeps everybody hungry.
Yeah.
Keeps us hungry to book them. And so what we want to do is what's right. Because, in the end, there's a couple people that do kind of similar to what we do, I'm really not going to name any names. You said name any names, but there's a couple people that do some things that are similar to what we do. And but I truly believe that we're the most encompassing and most inclusive, that just as far as trying to make an outfitter's life day to day. And, a lot of people kind of, and it has been this way, over the last few years of just, more of the trying to get you bookings. And I think things are really going to be shaping up different now as we start. We've actually began rolling out this new tool that's allowing, a lot of freedom as far as the scheduling and payment processing goes.
Now, is that going to be, is that internet based or is it through an app or?
It will be. It'll be internet based.
Nice.
Our website, I don't know how familiar you are. I am not technologically advanced. Okay. So that's, I leave that all up to the people that are,
right.
But the way that they have the app set up or the website set up, it's very mobile friendly. They built it with that in mind.
Yep.
Where when you're scrolling through on the host side, which Kate can probably attest to that a little bit, on the host side or on the consumer side with the hunter, it makes it very easy to just it flows very easy on your phone. It's easy to check, like I said, this is more Cade's realm, but it's easy to check, how many deposits do you have? How much outstanding money do you have in there? Scheduling. Everything it makes it pretty easy to just check all that.
I'm going to be honest with you. It takes me a minute to figure it out. I'm about like you. I'm not very,
yeah.
The technology side of it is not my strong suit.
Yeah,
but that was the thing about doing it, about going through y'all. I could call anybody up there at Venku, and if I didn't get a call, I'd get a call back within the hour, and they'd be like, "Hey, what was wrong?" And I'd tell them, and then they'd explain it to me, and I'd feel like an idiot. It was one thing that I didn't click on, but it'd be the one thing that I didn't click on.
It's like when the IT guy asks you, "Is it plugged in?" You're like, "You son of a bitch! I will punch you in the face."
Have you turned it off and back on?
Yeah, exactly.
Before we get any further, Tanner, can you kind of give Cade asked us right before we're about to get recording, and kind of give us a background how you got in with Venku, and
Venmo.
Venmo,
yeah. Not to be confused with
Venmo. How'd you get started with them, and kind of what your role is with the company?
Yeah, so I'm director of business development. So it kind of encompasses. I wear a lot of hats, do a lot of different things for the company. One is working with a new host, bringing them on. The other is just kind of helping with, some marketing and things like I'm doing right here, talking on podcast with people like y'all that are in the industry and things like that. So I was a good friend of mine was approached about a opportunity to invest in Venku, and he kind of reached out to me and was like, "Hey, here's this deal. He's not real big in the outdoors world. He knows I am. I mean, I've lived and breathed it and been eat up with it since I was. I mean, we'll go through that here a little bit.
Grasshopper.
Yeah, and so he kind of wanted me to get in on, and listen in. And so we talked about it, met with, so the owner is Muriel Gaither and her father, John. And so we sat, listened to them, and I kind of hammered off some questions, and I was like, I'm sitting there and it's turning in my head. I'm like, what y'all are doing is an absolutely genius idea. I'm just like sitting there. I mean, I'm like, y'all have got it figured out to a T of exactly what outfitters and guides need. I mean, as far as just like I said, the scheduling, the payments, helping.
Hell yeah, they got me.
And so, I'm sitting there thinking about that. Well, a little bit of time went by, and we kind of got to talking about how we could work, hand in hand from an investment standpoint. Well, then it kind of turned into them reaching out, and we kind of got in some talks about me actually coming to work for them because they felt like I filled a need that they had, which was kind of that immersion in the outdoor world and the contacts and things like that. And so,
well, and obviously you passionately believed in it too.
I did. Yeah, that was a good thing. And so it was actually kind of funny was right before they had came in, I had went to my buddy and I said, "Man, I've got the idea." And he said, "What's that?" And I said, "Let's do something where we can make like an Airbnb for duck hunting or for hunting," and pretty much describe Venku to him. And I said, "Let's start this deal." Well, it was a week later. I mean, not even a week later, that he got an email about the opportunity to meet with Venku, and then we met with him, and then this has all came out of that. And so it was a God thing. I'm a firm believer in divine intervention.
Well, that's the first thing I thought when you said that.
Yeah, for sure. When dots connect like that, you know.
I'm a firm believer in divine intervention and Christ and God, and I think there was no doubt. Me and Muriel kind of talked about that. That was a God thing, just the fact of how it all worked out. And I mean, I was at a point in my life where I was able to do something, and I've been self-employed ever since I came out of school, and was at a point where I could do something with them, and just the fact that Venku was able to make it work, I was able to make it work. It all just kind of hit at a perfect time.
That's great.
And,
it's awesome.
Finale.
When did Venku?
Listen up, guys. Waterfowl season will be here before you know it. So book a hunt today. Williamson Outfitters offers exceptional duck hunting along Florida's Forgotten Coast, targeting redheads, bluebills, buffleheads, canvasbacks, and much, much more. Lodging and fishing packages are also available. Mention the One Hell of a Life podcast when booking and get 15% off your next trip. Spots are filling up fast, so call or text Captain Chris at 850-251-8650 or visit floridaducks.com.
Start rolling. I mean, when did it start rolling out?
So 2020 is when Venku was established.
Oh shit! So we got on. We were like probably
we had to be one of your first customers.
First customer,
probably because I think y'all been So like I said, there was Outdoor 360. I'm not exactly sure when Outdoor.
I heard of Outdoor 360.
Venku. Yeah,
it probably come out in 2020 because my business was started in 2018, and I want to say 2019 was because that was the first year I did duck hunts. That's when they reached out to me. It was during my second year.
Well, so that was, that may have been right towards the, that may have been towards the end of Outdoor 360 or, whatever. I think
Venku was Outdoor 360 when I started.
Okay. So when they rebranded, with Venku, that was been 2020. So they've done, man, it's amazing to watch. One of the things that I've been so excited about with it is because I'm kind of fresh to this deal. So anyway, but one of the things I've been so excited about with it is just their versatility and how they're ever changing, and they're so open to either constructive criticism or feedback, customer feedback, whether that be on the outfitter side or on the client side.
Smart owners.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it's exactly right. They want to hear from people like Kade and, say, hey, how do we you tell us what we're doing right and you tell us what we're doing wrong and let us fix it and cater this to exactly how it needs to be.
Well,
and,
you guys are truly
really
serving. You guys are truly serving. It sounds like that even the ownership is built that way. It's just like, we're here to serve the customer. You know, when you put somebody, we all know this, but when you put something else before yourself, your own needs, you know, typically you get in return. You know what I mean? And that's what it sounds like y'all are doing.
Well, and we, you know, like I was talking to a guy the other day, a buddy of mine has an operation out of Saskatchewan, and Wild Valley Outfitters is there up there in Saskatchewan. They run a amazing place up there. And I was talking to him, and so he kind of came on with us with what we call the Book Now button, which is where I was talking about, you know, the handles all the scheduling and payments. And he's like, Tanner, he's like, I don't know why everybody wouldn't do this, you know? And I'm like, well, like that's the way we like to think, but it's not the way everybody thinks. You know, some people just don't want to do it, which is fine. You know, we want people to get booked however they want to get booked.
People are afraid of technology.
Well, and we just want to make it like, if people are open to hearing about it, then we want them to hear about it. And, you know, if they want to try it, then we want them to try it. And if we can help somebody, we want to help them. And if we can't, then we understand that too. And there's no hard feelings. And we hope that down the road, you know, they'll give us an opportunity. But I think now as these new steps rolling out, I think we're really headed in the right direction of one of them things of it kind of turning into something like, man, I don't know how we ever lived without it, you know, with some of the new tools that we're rolling out.
Yeah, I think your analogy to Airbnb is actually really spot on. You know, I mean, that's just... Well,
it is. I mean, let's talk about this from I'm a guy or a gal, and I'm wanting to make it easy for myself to go, because we've been talking a lot about it from the outfitter standpoint. And I want to drill down some more stuff about that. Yep. But I want people to understand, when you're listening here, this is a product for you, the consumer. And sure. And obviously, I mean, you know, it's a pretty good product. Talk a little bit about the usability and like the functionality and like, if I said right now, I want to go on Venku and book a hunt, what am I going to experience? Like, what are my options? Yeah, so can I look up like regions and stuff?
You can.
Yeah.
Yep. So, basically the grand scheme of just the simplicity of it is you're going to go on venku.com and, you're going to look at, it's going to give you basically what do you want to do, hunting or fishing. We do have quite a few fishing trips on there.
Oh, nice.
You're going to select that. It's going to give you a state. You're going to do a state, and then you're going to do whatever species you want to hunt. So, you know, if you're looking for Iowa whitetail, if you're looking for Colorado elk, Arkansas waterfowl, whatever it is, and you're going to select that, you hit search, and then bam, it's all going to be pulled up right there at your fingertips. Here's every opportunity. We work with just north of 1,000 outfitters.
Wow.
And awesome. You know, some outfitters have 4 to 5 hunts. So, I mean, you know, you can just imagine how many opportunities are on there. And it gives you know, we try to do a good job of description. You know, we want you to know exactly what you're getting into. We don't want you to show up and there be any, man, I thought this was going to be, you know, because you obviously, I mean, on the hunter side, you kind of have a little bit of kind of two different clientele, right? So you have some of these guys are like, man, I really don't care how many we kill as long as I can go hang in a nice lodge. I want something good to eat. I want to drink some bourbon with my buddies, and I just want to get away.
Yeah.
Well, then you have the other ones, which this is kind of the side I tailor more towards. I don't care if I sleep in a rat-infested hotel as long as I wake up in the morning and we're going to murder them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I want to kill. Like, you know, put me in a position where I don't care if you sleep. I don't care if we ain't got heat, you know, just put me in a position. Yeah. So we don't want to ever get in a position where somebody's expecting one thing. You know, we don't want something to get talked up and somebody's be expecting one thing, show up, and it's completely another.
Sure.
And so that we try to do a really good job of making sure that expectations or
What can I research like for an outfitter? Like if
Well, go ahead and then I got.
No, I was going to say. So let's say I pick a region. I see this outfitter, ABC Outfitters, right?
Yep.
What do I see? Am I going to see pictures? Am I going to read a description?
Yes. Yep. Pictures, a description.
Let me
right now.
Let me piggyback on that real quick because I had a question in similar vein.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand like not everybody that's because it sounds like your guys' target audience is people that aren't super tech friendly. So they might not have like a Instagram or whatever, but do y'all have a option? Cause I think that would be a cool feature if not to like put the outfitters like Instagram, if available, website, that kind of stuff on the description, if available, you know?
Yeah. So like right now as it sets, when you go on Venku, you're just going to see the experience. So you won't actually see,
I see.
You won't actually see the outfitter's name on there.
Oh, okay.
Now that's all going to be changing as we incorporate this new system that I'm telling you about. That was the book now button where it's going to be handling scheduling. Like for Kade, it would just be, Kade has a one-stop shop for everything, all of his payments, all of his scheduling. That will be changing a little bit in the future.
You've got a customer in Kade. I can tell you that right now.
What we will have is where we can actually embed these links into Kade's website. We can embed these links into his social media, his Facebook, his Instagram. Everywhere that you look that has anything associated with Kade, you can be one click away from booking a hunt with him.
That's awesome.
That's what we want is just, because, you see it. Sometimes, I'll see something and I can't find the dang thing online, whether it's a hunt or whatever, it can be anything. And I'm like, see a picture of it. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. I'm like looking all over and I'm like, I don't even know what to Google to look for that. And I'm like thinking about it. So it's not as big of a deal with outfitters because typically their name's everywhere, right, on their social media, but just just the simplicity of, on the consumer side as well as the outfitter side, on the client side.
And I think, one thing that would be cool, like, and I'm not trying to like toot any horn or anything, but like,
oh, go ahead.
No, but like, with our relationship with Kade, for example, like if Kade wanted to be like, hey man, just go look, or here's a link to X hunt on YouTube and he can pick it, whatever, and then put that in his Venku profile or whatever, like, I just think that'd be a cool feature.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We, and we like to, we're a big proponent of a lot of pictures. Cause that's what, like a visual, you can describe a place all you want to, and imaginations can run wild. Yeah. But
what they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words, right?
That's right. And, until you have some pictures and we can, embed videos and everything like that, where exactly what that experience is that you're going to have.
That's cool.
But I'm the first person to put a boat starter in a freezer while on a
podcast. Dude, I don't know how you do these things. I'll tell you, I got to interrupt. So we're going to take a break here and tell you about this story between Kade and I. Kade is getting ready to go on a anniversary vacation to somewhere down where he has no business being. And
the equator.
Yeah, the equator, Caribbean, somewhere. Anyway, he's getting ready to leave, and I got thinking. I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to call him the day before he leaves. And I said, hey, Kade. And he said, what? And I go, hey, do you got a will? He goes, what? And I said, well, I was just hoping before you got on that plane, just put me down as in case the plane goes down, that I could own Delta Thunder. He goes, you can have that son of a bitch right now.
Offer still stands.
He said the offer still stands.
Tell him, Kade, you'll take your salary and not have to worry about the rest of it.
Well, hey, look, as long as he takes all the payments on stuff that I got, if somebody come along and did that, I go to casino tonight.
For the second time in your life.
Well, it's kind of in that same vein when I took my wife duck hunting out with Kade for the first time, Tanner. We're sitting there and my wife is like, Kade, her name's Katie, and she's like, Cade, I think I'll just run the duck hunt today. And he takes his lanyard off and he puts it on. And he's like, here you go. You can have it.
Yeah, nothing humbles people. Nothing humbles somebody as much as actually having to do what they said they probably could do. You know, like, hey, man, I think I could probably do that. All right, well, here you go, try it. We were fishing back this spring, and a buddy of mine, I'm not a big crappie fisherman, he's ate up with it, and he's got a live scope, so
if they're ate up with it, they have a live scope.
We're sitting on the front pretty much playing a video game, tossing around in front of them, and so I'm like, dang, Robbie, I'm like, get out of the way. I'm like, let me run this thing. He's like, all right, you can try. I'll hop on there. When he was running it, we was catching a fish probably every 3 or 4 minutes. Hey, I hopped on that thing. We didn't catch a fish for 20 minutes. I was like, golly. I couldn't stay on the fish. But I was sitting there looking at it. I'm like, man, that's so freaking easy. I'm like, watch out. Let me try this for a minute. So I hop on there. I'm going left and right. I'm running up on the fish, like hitting the trees, running up on the beds. It was terrible. And I was like, all right, I'll tell you what, I enjoy catching more than I enjoy trying to run this thing. Get over here. So y'all, Cade, and y'all are, Cade, you're mostly hunting around kind of Otwell, Jonesboro, that area.
I'm out in Cache area. I hunt a little bit around Otwell.
Okay.
But mainly out toward Cache, over the west Cache.
Yeah. So where y'all was hunting at, our farms are down there. I'm sure y'all came through, or I'm sure y'all familiar with the town of Wiener.
Oh yeah.
So,
how could you not be?
I had a very good experience this year.
I was just about to say, Tony had a great experience in Wiener.
I had the best wiener I ever had.
So I'm actually born and bred. I'm from Wiener.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a lot to stand up to.
Signs that say Wiener
Hey,
cut off.
I'm from Wiener. Hey, I'm from Wiener. They call me Smalls.
Yeah. Growing up, they eventually just quit putting the sign there, but there was a Wiener cutoff road, so they, it was pretty much obviously constantly stolen.
Yeah, Kate, you showed me that.
So we've got a farm there on Bowda View, and then another one on Cache River, and that's where pretty much cut my teeth.
Oh, I gotcha.
On the waterfowl world, and so when I was 3 or 4, my dad actually he welded together a little platform that he could hang in the pit, and it made me the same height as everybody else when I stood.
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese, but now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable waders technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
Stood up, I sat in it.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
When I stood up, just had a floor on it. And so when I stood up, and had a BB gun. And so anyway, that's kind of where I cut my teeth growing up. I hunt. Last year, I hunted 60 days. I go every day. And I love it. I've always been ate up with it. And I'm like duck, I love duck hunting. My thing, my drug is turkey hunting.
Wow. Sounds like
you and Cade need to hunt a lot more often together.
That's my drug. I ended up having a little stick in my spokes. Well, it wasn't. Let me take it back before I say that in case my wife listens to this. It was a blessing from God. We had a baby April 21st.
Oh, congratulations, dude.
Yeah. So
is that your first one?
It is.
That's
first
awesome.
One,
it's an amazing, isn't it just an incredible experience, dude?
Yeah, it is. It is something else.
It's a life-changing experience.
And so I typically have a pretty good little run there for a little while where I hit. I started down in Florida this year and then ended up I killed my last one in Indiana and killed a few different states. And but it put a little damper. And usually I'll make a little kind of loop out west, and hit some of them. But still had a good season. We Arkansas was a little tough this year. I killed one. We typically do pretty good. Me and a buddy of mine, we got a farm, and we'll usually kill or two a piece. But it was tough this year in Arkansas. But that's another thing, like we was talking about, like, kind of going back to Venku. That's one thing that we've really seen a lot of is people that are wanting to kill a single season slam.
Right.
They can hop on there and hit every. They can book every species right there.
One thing to your point, Tanner. We talked about this a few episodes back, but like turkey hunters compared to like, even waterfowl or for sure deer hunters.
Oh yeah,
they hit the road, man. Like, I mean, you just described your journey, like what you normally do.
Yeah.
I know Kate's the same way. Like, turkey hunters hit the road to kill some turkeys, so I could definitely see where you guys could see that on Venku.
Man, I have spent a lot of hours, and I mean, and especially like when you're headed to these one bird states, which I mean, I'm a strong proponent of. I don't. It sucks, when you're driving 10, 12, 14 hours and you can only kill one turkey, but I completely understand it. The turkey population, I mean, that's a whole nother episode that we could go through is, just what, some of the detriments to the turkey population, fur bear prices and just practice.
Well, the thing is nobody up there hunts them, but all of us down here do. And it's not just you going up there to hunt them. There's a bunch of people that do.
That's right. So, I don't, like I said, I'm a strong proponent of, low turkey limits. But, man, when you're driving, 12, 14 hours, you get up there and you kill one turkey. And especially, I mean, it's awesome when it happens right off the bat, right? So first morning, right off the roost, he hammers, flies down. You cold roll him, thump his onion. And then you're like, well, okay. And you hop back in the truck, and you're rolling back home. So I try to, if I'm going through that, I'm going to try to make in a few different states and, kind of break it up on the way back.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And there's something to a little bit of a challenge before you have success, it kind of.
Exactly.
It makes for a better story for sure,
I hunted harder this year in Arkansas than I have in a long time. And I mean, it was just every day. And I've got an amazing wife. I mean, she had that baby, and 2 days later, she was like, "Why don't you just go turkey hunting?" And so I hunted. I mean, I was hammering down,
Bless
and I was
her
like,
heart.
"Man, I will." So that's all I'm thinking. I outkicked my coverage, long shot, and but I kind of guys like, man, I'm honestly, I'm gonna break my streak of killing a turkey in Arkansas. I've killed one for. I guess 11 years, and I was like,
killed the first one. I've killed 15 years in Arkansas.
I was gonna say, Kate's just ready to tell you the opposite.
Well, and,
you don't get out of all the acreage I got here though to hunt on. Like where I have to hunt, there are no turkeys.
Yeah. And that's part of it too, especially like if you're over like where I live now. I'm on the ridge. I'm on Crowley's Ridge, and there's a couple up here. Like I'm. Off my back porch, I've heard one or two, that roost back here on my place. But, like up there. So one place that I have is at Hardy, and that's our main place that we hunt all the time. And we manage it, try to manage it pretty well. And
I got a place in Mammoth, if you know where it's at.
Oh yeah, you're not far from us. So we that's typically where right there at Hardy, and we're actually at Worth. So we're not far from you at all. So that's where we hunt at most time. And like I said, well, typically, we had plenty of turkeys right there before season came in. But you know how that goes. By the time season rolls in, they all bust up. And I actually got down there to the nut cutting. I was right there at the end, and I was walking down walked through a patch of pine trees. That road to come down the middle of them, and I thought, I'm gonna stop right here and yelp. And it's like 10 o'clock, and I was like, I ain't gonna hear that. And I yelped, and they hammered about 120 yards, and I dropped down, Harmony crawled back, sat down on a tree, and about 5 minutes there he was out the road, and I killed him. And that was like, you talking about having to kind of going through some trials before you get to success. It was like, I had hunted, pretty much every single day of Arkansas season, minus the day my son was born. And I was just like, man, finally, a monkey off my back.
Yeah, man, that adds a lot of sweetness to it. And I know, and Kade, we haven't had you on the podcast since you got that one in Arkansas. And I know that was, I mean, just the challenge of that over the years. Like, I don't know if you want to go into that story or not, but that was pretty cool, man. Like, you know, you just.
Well, and then your granddaddy got to be a part of something, and
If you can kill one in Arkansas, or let's put this. If you can kill one in Craighead County, you can kill one anywhere on the whole damn planet.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I've hunted. I mean, there's probably going. So here's my thing: is I'm a firm believer of everybody, and I'm agreeing with you, Kate. But I'm saying I feel like when you talk and the turkey world, everybody feels like they have the hardest turkeys, right? You know, it's kind of like, it's like no matter who you talk to, oh man,
Osceolas don't gobble, and
they don't gobble. You know, you come down, except for the guys out west. I mean, you know, if you're hunting Merriams and Rios, they kind of know. But you know, as far as Easterns and Osceolas, Eastern turkeys, everybody you talk to, man, no, you come over here in these mountains, try to kill a bird, you ain't gonna kill, you know, yada yada yada. So everybody feels like they have the hardest turkey. So I'm probably kind of biased.
Yeah, no. Realtree actually just did an article about, I think it was about Eastern turkeys.
I'm putting Arkansas and Mississippi, and I don't know which is harder, but I'm putting them top two in. Well, I know in the states I've hunted. I mean, I've killed in like 26 states, and I'm putting Arkansas and Mississippi right there at the top. I mean,
damn.
And Mississippi's population is stronger, so I'm probably on the verge of urging towards Arkansas, especially if you get into the public ground situation.
Well, and y'all only got a week, right, kid? Or
so in zone 1 where I'm at, we got we got like 8 days.
Yeah.
But the rest of the state is like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So at my house, which is kind of where Cade's talking about, at my house we have is it 8 or 9? Is it 8 or 9 days? 8 days, ain't it, Cade?
8 days. It starts on a Monday and ends on a Wednesday or something.
And the rest of the state's actually 3 weeks, with only 2 weekends. So
is it 3?
It is, because it's April 15th to May 5th. So what is that? 20 days? 21 days?
It's the same as Missouri. So it's like 3 weeks.
Yeah. So and you can kill one bird the first week, and then you can kill your second one after the first week.
See, me, I think they should cut it back to 1 just to let the population build up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I saw where I live out here, I saw turkeys, and you don't see them just very often right here in Jonesboro where I live. But just there was places I remember back when I was younger, you'd drive and you'd see some turkeys every once in a while. There's a guy that lives up the road from my house. It's right in the middle of town. And he's got a deer feeder in his backyard. And in the evenings and about 11 o'clock in the morning, you could drive by there and there'd be 15 turkeys under that feeder.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, you know, one thing, I'm sorry.
I think you cut out for a sec.
I cut out.
Yeah, you said
15
turkeys.
I think that the population did a little bit more this year. Maybe not everywhere, but where I live at, what I'm used to looking at, it did a lot. And even so, my mom's place in Missouri that I hunt up there in Mammoth that I was talking about, or it's actually in Thayer, you know, I got to managing it. You know, I used to, you know, if I had a bunch of turkey gobbling, I'd go in there, I'd kill my one, and then I'd call a buddy of mine and let him go kill his one, and then I'd wait the next week and go kill mine, and then call another buddy of mine and take him in there. And then the next 3 years, I wouldn't kill a turkey. I'd hear some, but I wouldn't hardly see none. And I just. Well,
it sounds like it's because you killed them all.
Well, exactly. Well, but here's the thing. So I'd go up there deer hunting. I don't deer hunt up there ever just a lot.
Yeah.
But in the fall, you go up there, you see a bunch of turkeys.
Oh man,
But in the spring, you know, they spread out.
But
they ain't congregated like they are during deer season. You know, in the fall and in the winter. You know, because you'd be sitting there. And you might have a group of 15 gobblers walk through there, you know, sitting there deer hunting. and you're thinking, wow, I could really hammer them. You know, I'm gonna really hammer them, but
Oh,
they scatter, and like you got to learn how to manage when they scatter. You know, when they scatter, are you gonna be left with 2 birds, or are you gonna be left with 5 birds, or what are you gonna do? So
Yeah.
to keep more on my property, we shoot. So what I do is I run cameras, and I shoot under whatever's under half. So say I got 4 turkeys, I shoot 1. If I got
Mhm.
5, if I know I got 5 gobblers on camera, I shoot 2. That way I still got 3 hanging around.
Yeah.
If I kill, if I go up there and kill 1, and my granddaddy goes up there and kills 1, I won't hunt that farm another time. Won't go out there and call at them, nothing.
Yeah.
And the last 3 years I've done that, the turkey hunting has just got better and better and better. I've been killing 2 off of it every year, and it just, I get more birds every time. I hunted up there 3 days this year and killed 2 of those 3 times. And the one time in the middle, I killed 1, and then we went up there the next day. I took a friend of mine that's a school teacher, don't get to hunt all that often, took him, called 1 up, and he was sitting on my left side. The turkey come out to the right, and he never could get on it. And that was that. But then about 2 weekends later, the last weekend, took my granddaddy up there, and he killed 1. So I've stuck to it. That's all we've done, and it's just worked out better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, one of the things that we wanted to dive into tonight is, reason why we were like really wanting to get together with Venku and have Tanner on and Kade is really talk about a true life story that's happened with Tristan and I and Kade and Venku. Yep. I think it's no better. I mean, I'll just say this. Let's go back to 2020, and I'll set the stage and let Tristan kind of take it from there. But, going back to 2020, we're wanting to go to Arkansas.
We live in Florida.
We're wanting to go to Arkansas.
So I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. I have not heard this story, so I want y'all to really play it out.
Yeah.
I want y'all to just.
Yeah, no, we're going to speak the truth here.
Okay, so when was your first season duck hunting? 2017 or 18?
No, 13.
Okay, well, whenever it was.
14, yeah.
We started duck hunting in Florida.
Yeah.
And you can't kill mallards in Florida.
No.
I mean, you can kill park mallards. So that leads to...
Yeah. So of course, you want to go hunt the Super Bowl of duck hunting. Mm-hmm. And where does everybody want to go? I want to go to the duck hunting capital of the world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I want to go to Arkansas. And so, but we were very intimidated by going out there to hunt public land because the way we looked at things, just our upbringing and stuff, is that I'm not going to go in there and be that guy. And
to add some context to that is, my dad grew up hunting public land for deer in Illinois, and not that it's the same as Arkansas duck hunting, but like there's a lot of out-of-staters that come to Illinois.
Oh, you want to talk about getting your ass kicked over a duck hole? Try setting up a tree stand 60 yards from somebody.
Right.
All right. Yeah, you're getting your ass really kicked. All right, with the tree stand.
So with that being said, there was a level of like respect.
I wanted to display a level of respect, and I wanted to have the right equipment. Too. I had a starter boat with a 10-foot mud motor longtail that had 0 baffle on it or exhaust, and it was straight pipes. I had an old boy tell me that was called a, what did he call it? He called it a
Louisiana Swamp Harley.
Donkey. No,
Harley.
Yeah, he called me a Louisiana Swamp Harley. That's one. You got one of them Louisiana Swamp Harleys. And,
and just to add to the story, the guy had no legs.
Yeah, he had no legs.
He was sitting on the dock like Lieutenant Dan, and he's straight. That's
a true story, dude. We come rolling up, and there's this restaurant, and I'm like, dude, these people sitting outside this restaurant, I've never seen no redneck shit like this. And then we look up, and there's a dude, no shit, blonde hair, long down past his shoulders,
got a
cooler, no legs, sitting on the dock, fishing, like Lieutenant Dan. And I go, well, we ain't shit compared to this guy. And he said, you know what you got there, boys? And we're like, what? And he goes, you got one of them Louisiana Swamp Harleys. And I was like, I do. And he goes, yeah. And I go, is that a thing? He goes, well, hell yeah, it is. And I go, well, fuck yeah. And so I thought.
So anyway, that rig is all right set up in the marsh.
Yeah. So
But-
I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I can't take that out to the timber or I'm going to kill people. All right. They're like going around a corner. I'll take out like 7 boats, So I'm like, I can't take this. So I got me a basic startup mud skipper, surface drive, something like that I could afford. Anyway, we're going to go out there. And I said,
And
you know what?
Yeah, back 2020.
Yeah, in 2020. And I'm like, Tristan, I go, I've went a lot of places in my life hunting and met a lot of great people when we didn't even kill anything. We just made friendships and stuff in the outdoors and stuff. And I said, I want to truly get intimate with the area. I go, I want to meet people. To me, it's more than just going out there to kill some mallards, right? I want to emboss myself in the culture.
And let me add to that, we were planning on going out there for a week, and like, I know this is controversial with a lot of locals, but Dr. Duck, those guys are always so big on scouting, and like,
Yeah.
so for us, we were like, man, like if we're gonna go out there, like we're gonna plan on scouting for like 2 or 3 days before we even hunt potentially.
Yeah.
Just out of respect for not stomping on toes, like shit like that. So that's one thing I will say that like, I know a lot of locals with Dr. Duck don't love them, but like that was the impression we got before we went out there, and we knew we were gonna have to put in the work. So that's what leads to what my dad was about to go into.
So we're like, all right, so we know we're gonna put all this work into public land and stuff. And I mean, when you come from being a marsh hunter, seeing a duck fall through the trees is something pretty incredible, because it almost doesn't make sense in your brain, because you're not used to seeing that, But anyway, so I said, one thing that we can do is I said, look.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
Let's look at booking one day with an outfitter, and let's get to know some people in the local culture and stuff. And I said, who knows where relationships go from there? I said, but let's make sure that we do that so that we can experience it from a different perspective and stuff.
Well, and also because we knew we were going to get our ass kicked.
Yeah,
So
we knew
like,
he was going to get our ass kicked.
So we're like, we got to have...
You're like, we at least want
one good day.
Pretty high hopes.
Right.
Like,
Or just to sleep in and like just not have to worry. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah. Just somebody take us out to the blind.
Yeah.
Not have to sleep on the marsh or sleep out on the dike or whatever, on the at the boat ramp. Well, anyway, so it was me, Tristan, and our buddy Mike that we call Mike Ambrose, that we call Dr. Buck. He's a doctor friend of ours that's obsessed with shooting giant deer. But anyway, so we go out there, and Mike had never duck hunted before. So we booked this hunt, and well, let me step back before that. So before that, Tristan said, he's more technologically advanced than I am. He just started jumping through the internet and researching stuff, and kind of take it from there, Tristan.
Yeah, so I don't remember exactly how I came across Venku or anything, but like I just, was searching online, Arkansas duck hunting or whatever. And I, just got on the website, and they reached out to me, and or I reached out to them once they got my information, or however that worked, and they just started going back and forth with me about, hey, it's Kade, Delta Thunder Outfitters, and this is they might not even said that actually. I don't remember exactly what the specifics were, but I just it was Arkansas duck hunting, and essentially that's what we did is we booked a hunt with Kade to duck hunt, and that's essentially how it came about. And I guess it sounds like it was right in kind of the origin of Venku, so we might have been one of y'all's first customers. And
very well made.
And I remember y'all sent us some bottomland hats, which I still have, I think, actually. But yeah,
we're in the middle of redoing a little apparel, so we'll get y'all some more out.
Oh, that'd be sweet, man. But yeah, no, it's just back to what my dad was saying, just to break it up. And we I don't know if you want to take this part back over, Dad, but we get to the first part of the week, of course, get our butt kicked and not having any success.
No, let's back up.
Okay.
So Tristan books this hunt, and I'm I'm a military guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm extremely over the top OCD. All right. Annoying. Yes. And I always tell my wife, she's like, she is 100% like not even close to being OCD. So I'm like, well,
I do want to stop you real quick and tell you thank you for your service.
Oh yeah, thank you. But yeah,
He
so
didn't do nothing but mop the floor on a boat.
you know it's funny.
I'm just messing with you, Tony.
Hey, get your terminology right, because people on boats are on subs. I was on a ship. All right. So anyway, but Tristan tells me, he calls me up and he said, Dad, I figured it out and I booked this hunt through Venku. And I go, through what? He goes, Venku. And I go, that sounds like some Japanese shit. I said, I don't know about that. And he goes,
Little did you know it was Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, little did I know until that it was Czechoslovakian. And he told me, and immediately I was skeptical because it's technology, right? You know, and I'm 52, and I wasn't at that time. I was in my 40s, and he tells me we booked this hunt, and so.
Well, what I'll say is, like, when we booked it, like, the details gave confidence to book it because you know, it was descriptive on.
Tristan felt 100% comfortable.
The area you're hunting, you know, I think it even said on there, Kade, like, because it was, you know, you could do duck or goose, you know, and it said, like, for goose hunts, there's this area, and, you know, it was just descriptive.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely made us feel very comfortable being nervous.
Well, anybody
consumers.
can be a good car salesman, but can you sell a good car?
Right.
Exactly. But from a nervous consumer's perspective, we had a lot of confidence in giving our money to Venku. You know, is the main point here. Well, anyway,
You gotta remember too. Remember that when y'all came, like that year, duck hunting was awful
Yeah. No, but you be quiet. Right
everywhere.
now. You be quiet, young man. I've got a story. Am I telling the story? All right. Listen. So here, I'll wrap it up real quick. So here's what happens. So you know how you always, when somebody talks about somebody or whatever, you build this image in your head. I don't think I've ever told Kade this, but you build this image of like who you're dealing with based on like communication. You might have an email and you're like, this or you might be like, this dude's cool.
And then he's the nicest dude ever.
Yeah. Or like, I remember like the first time that I met Mike Dragic, our buddy, you know, that's been blowing up everywhere on the news. He
blue collar brawler.
Yeah, give him a shout out. But he
not that he needs one.
First time I met him for security at church, I thought, who's this Christian that loves God so much? I'm like, dude, this guy's probably. And then I saw him at the gym, and I'm like, whatever. And next thing you know, I mean, we're locking horns and we're best buddies. You know, you just don't know. Well, anyway, here I am being OCD. I'm like, all right, where are we going? When are we supposed to be there? I started asking Tristan all these details. He goes, I don't know.
Well, and I'm laid back when it comes to stuff like that, you know, and now that I understand more of like the outfitter life, honestly, just being so such close friends with Kade.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know, when it comes to freaking hunting, you know, it's where the birds are, you know, it's like, and
especially the goose hunting.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I said, what's this guy's name? And he's like, Kade. And I go, oh boy. And he goes, what? And I go, Kade sounds like a freaking redneck. And he goes, yeah. And I said, all right. I said, well, who knows?
It's not stereotyping if you're right.
Well, I'm still being skeptical on the whole Venku thing or whatever. So I'm constantly asking him questions he can't answer. And he's basically like, Dad, shut up.
Yeah, I'm having to go back to the guy on Venku and be like, hey, man, like, y'all got any pictures, blah, blah. And he says, you know, and I think the Venku guy probably reached out to Kade. And then a couple hours later, here's a bunch of pictures that come in. And I got to send them to my dad. Here you go.
Oh, no, so here's where it gets really good. So we're getting within weeks of going. And this is a big expense for us because we're taking like a whole week, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, where are we meeting the guy and what time? And Tristan goes, I don't know. And he goes, I reached out to the guy and he said,
I'll let you know.
I'll let you know. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
And I go, say what? And Tristan's like, well, obviously he doesn't know yet, Dad. And I go, that's bullshit. I go, dude, I'm spending all this money with this guy. I better know where I'm going.
I'm assuming this was not a lodging included.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Y'all were just doing a one day hunt.
One day hunt.
Yeah, one day
Okay.
hunt.
Yeah, and I didn't know. Keep in mind,
They didn't have a lodge back then.
I'm dumb
Okay.
to knowing anything about outfitters or anything outside of. I mean, I professionally guided in Illinois for deer, but
Which this is good to get into because it's like, who knows how many out of state people that are coming to hunt there might be the same.
right. I'm just
frame
saying
of
from an
mind, you know?
innocent perspective, this is how I'm looking at things. And so, anyway, Cade's very straightforward with his clients, and he's very honest, really honest. Like, I've watched him year after year cancel
Bluntly
people.
honest.
Yeah. I've watched him year after year either at least attempt to cancel people when the duck hunting's not good. And who does that, dude? I mean, with so much, I watched him book. I watched him lose. Kate, I hope you don't mind me saying this. Over $3,000 one week, and
It's more than that.
oh
Yeah, it
well,
was more than that.
yeah. Well, but he
It's
can't
hurting me right now. It's just-
It was during that freeze.
during the freeze. That's right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
but
well,
I
we
watched him
froze up
cancel
right
them
there
all.
At the end of January, I begged everybody not to come.
Yeah.
Like, and I had got some girls that booked the plane tickets. I was like, well, it don't. I promise, if you want to come out here and hang out, cool. But it is a winter wonderland. Bring your ice skates.
Well, so
And they're like, well, you can't break open a hole. I'm like, I don't think you understand. It's not that it's froze on top and there's water underneath. It froze all the way to the mud.
Yeah.
like it's not
And
going to
there ain't a
happen.
duck. The ducks are down on the beach right now getting a suntan. I ain't nowhere near here. Look, at that week, it was literally, so I got a buddy of mine that lives in Florida.
You there?
It was 21 degrees where he lived, and in Miami at the bottom of the state, it was 91.
Yeah, because
Wow.
he's there in the
So-
panhandle.
Yeah, but
Wow.
he lives up in Pensacola, but and I sent her that picture. I said, it is 21 degrees in Florida right now. I'm surprised we're alive. I mean, that's how cold it is here. But yeah, I finally got everybody canceled. I would much rather. Trust me, everybody that comes hunting, I want you to kill ducks. Everybody.
More than you
There's
do.
some days though that you're just gonna sit there. They're gonna be there. You know, if you come and you don't kill, it's not because they're not there. If there just wasn't any ducks here, even if it was too hot and there wasn't no ducks around, which even if it's hot, I mean, usually there's teal around and we get a few good groups of teal. Sometimes you kill a limited teal. But you know, I would much rather you come here. I want everybody to come here and shoot their limit and be done at 8 o'clock, because then I won't have nothing else to do all day. I can go home and take a nap.
That's
I
exactly
promise
right.
you, if I could get that to work like that every day, I promise you I would. But it just doesn't work that way.
Well, and
It doesn't.
and that's what kind of leads us into where I'm going with this is that, you know, to kind of continue my story is, so, you know, we basically, Cade was straight up honest with us and just basically couldn't tell us where to be until the night before. And it was later on in the evening. We're already on the road going, and I'm having a nervous wreck because I'm like,
Well, and that was no. I mean, we were in town because we'd hunted public for 3 days or whatever, or tried to.
no,
And
but
then-
the
yeah.
fact that we were leaving and I didn't know where I was going
Oh,
at that
right,
point,
right, yeah.
I'm like, this is freaking me out. Just, I mean, and a lot of it does have to do with just me.
It's your deer hunter brain.
Yeah, it is. So, but here's what happened in a nutshell, y'all. We go out there. It was Cade was on time, met us when we were supposed to. Everything else, we met up with the guide, took us out to the blind.
I told you where to be
Yep.
the evening before.
Yep. Oh yeah. Everything was very
Because
coordinated.
I didn't know where we were hunting yet. I
But-
want to go hunt wherever the most ducks are at.
But the stereotype, what I was talking about earlier, I couldn't wait to meet this beer-bellied 35 to 45-year-old guy that's got Billy Bob teeth and a can of Kodiak in his back pocket. I know that's what Kade looks like.
Well, that's
right?
that's him. He's just not 35.
No,
No, I'm just playing.
no. So we go out there.
I'm just playing.
We go out there, and we went out with Mason, and he did a great job. And here's the thing: we come as deer hunters, right? We went out there. There just was not a lot of ducks flying at all. There wasn't at all. But the few opportunities we had, guess what? Michael shot his first duck. Mm-hmm. That was an incredible experience with us.
Yeah.
It was a fun time in the blind. We were sitting there in an environment we had never been in before. Mm-hmm. We've hunted swamps and marshes and everything else. Now we're sitting on a rice field, and I'm like, dude, my brain as a deer hunter was like, I'm super patient. I don't need to see thousands of ducks. Mm-hmm. What I know right now is that I'm in an area of the world that literally hundreds of thousands of ducks are in. Well, anything could change on a dime,
and that's definitely true. It was, as we've experienced with it. But one thing I'll say is and again, we're coming as Florida duck hunters, Georgia duck hunters. I understand people come from all over and might be different experiences, but for us, regardless of how the season was or whatever, we saw more ducks than we might see. And I mean, realistically, even in a season, I know they're flying high and all that, but it's just amazing as a first time hunter to come out there and be like, holy shit.
Dude, it was I kept saying over and over, I go, dude, this is like a Nat Geo documentary. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is something.
The thing is, I can't tell you how many times, I'm sure Kate has too. It don't matter how good of a spot you have, mm-hmm. you're gonna have bad days. I mean, I've been blessed. I mean, growing up to just be to hunt. I mean, to be able to hunt just some of the most phenomenal places in Arkansas.
That's how I felt about Illinois. You're
gonna have. It don't matter how good of a spot. You're gonna have days where there's ducks, and
they just
anything you do doesn't work.
You throw the kitchen sink at them, and there's a lot of people that don't understand that. As far as coming in, and especially and y'all actually could have. It wouldn't have been surprising if this had been in y'all's mindset. You go out there and you're like, man, we seen, people get almost more mad that they see a bunch of ducks and they're not doing nothing, which honestly, it frustrates me. I'm typically more mad on a day that ducks are flying over and we should be killing them and we're not, mm-hmm. than I am on a day that there's not even any ducks flying around.
Even one of them days where you just, they work you good, they set up good, and you just don't have no win. They're just not going to. They're not
going to finish.
No win.
And the days and that's the thing about the just duck hunting, and I mean it's with any hunting. I mean deer, turkey, whatever. You go one day and you leave there and you can barely hold your head up. You're like, I'm the freaking best caller to ever walk this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Everything that flew over, I freaking chuckled at them, and they barreled down in here, and we shot them at 15 yards and broke their feet when we shot them.
Yeah.
And then you go back the next morning, you're like, we're about to, you're just about shooting out, and you're sitting there rubbing your hands together. And then next thing you know, it's 9:30, and then you fired a shot, and everybody's just kind of looking at each other like, how about ready to head to the house? I mean, that's just how it works.
I think teal hunting. I think a lot of people will say that all young people should go in the military. I think that all duck hunters should have to go experience early teal season. Because it could be the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
And go ahead, Terrence. Yep.
No, I was just on the teal season, especially in Arkansas. You can deal with some cottonmouths and some mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and because when it's the lowest of lows, not only are you not killing anything, but you're getting carried off by mosquitoes while you're not killing anything. So it's I think that what y'all are talking about there. I mean, that's just a great testimony for Venku, and
to kind of wrap that up, Tanner, not to interrupt you, but
go ahead.
One of the cool things to the whole testimony is which obviously this is not going to happen 99.9% of the time, but you talk about God things, right?
Yeah.
And so we go and hunt with Kade, we duck hunt in the morning. He had some guys goose hunting in the afternoon. He's like, hey man, y'all didn't shoot as many ducks or whatever. He's come goose hunting, and we went out and goose hunted with Kade, and like, hey man,
I was just excited to go on a goose
Not how
hunt.
it happened.
Dude, I was excited just to go on a goose hunt.
Right.
I thought it was so cool.
so
Yeah.
Not how it happened.
okay, how'd it happen?
Well, y'all came out here and said that you starting a YouTube
Well,
channel.
that's what I was about to get into.
We're about to get into that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get into. So
all right, well then say what you got to say. And then
All
I'll
right.
tell you
yeah,
the real story.
well, and this is what I mean. I don't remember us mentioning anything about the YouTube
Oh yeah,
until
I do during the goose hunt.
well,
Ca-
yeah.
Cade
During,
made-
no,
Cade-
no, no. Listen, let me tell a story. During the goose hunt, we started talking about. We had like some GoPros and shit,
Yeah.
and then I remember Cade coming over like some point towards the end of the hunt. And he's like, "Hey man, like we started talking about what we do or whatever and what we're trying to do." And that's what I remember.
No, I'll tell you what I remember. I remember that Cade were hunting out of the blind. It was towards the end of the hunt, and he said, "So you guys are going to start a YouTube channel?" And I said, "Yep." And he goes, "Ha ha!" He laughed at us, and I looked at Tristan. And I go, "That some bitch just laugh at us?"
I don't
And he,
remember that.
Yeah,
but-
I do. And I was like, "That some bitch just laughed. He's making fun of us." Well,
Okay,
no,
so
he
you
wasn't.
did
No, he
have
wasn't.
right.
I misunderstood. No, he wasn't. What? So, fast forward.
No, I asked you. I said y'all are gonna start a YouTube channel. And you said, "Yeah, we go and hunt public land." And then I laughed at
Oh
you.
yeah, that's probably true. All right, that's probably true. But let's nutshell it all for everybody. Here's what's happened since then, folks.
Well, that's and that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, you mind if I go? Anyway, so what's happened since then is our buddy that weekend got his first duck and some unique species. We didn't shoot a goose, but you know what? We left there. I want to wrap this up that we left there going, Cade is our people.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just like you were talking about earlier, Tanner, the two different experiences that people are looking for. Well, we found one of those experiences with Cade, and we're like, that was pretty cool, man, you know?
Kind of left off like, yeah, man, let's keep in touch. Like,
Yeah,
we'll
stay
be
in
back
touch.
out here or whatever.
Yeah. And then later on that year, or the next year after spring, and anyway, the cat is trying to rub his mouth on the mic. Quit biting the mic. Anyway, so later on in the spring, I think it was, Cade calls me and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, I was thinking about, you guys doing that YouTube and stuff. He goes, "I think we could help each other out." And I was like, "Well, what do you think?" And so he said, "I want you to come out here and film a speckled belly goose hunt."
I thought it was after the teal hunt. No, it was before that.
No, it was before that.
Okay.
But sometime during the summer or spring.
No, it was in the spring because I was planting soybeans when I called you.
Oh, okay. Well, he said, I think it'd be a good idea. He goes, "You ever hunted speckled belly geese before?" I said, "No." And he's like, "Why don't you come out here?" And I was like, "Man, that's a great idea." And if we fast forward from then until now,
Mhm.
we love that professional relationship we have with Cade to be able to help his business, because we know that it's like when you're a salesperson and you're selling a product, you want to make sure that you believe in the product. We know Cade intimately and know his operation intimately, that we can say with 100% confidence that he's a quality guy,
Operation, yeah.
quality operation. And I love that we can do that. But since then, we have now became so close is that, Cade had us in his wedding
Well,
last
and
year.
one thing I'll say too is it's not just, like we get to, make cool videos and
No.
that's like cool for Cade.
We get our
Like,
ass kicked at Cade's too.
Well, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is Cade, he's provided us so many unique, amazing
Opportunities,
waterfowl
yeah.
opportunities that like I couldn't think of for in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's just get that straight. But
Yep.
continue.
No. And that's what it's been all about, and really ever since we came out and videoed that, and he knew that we were just starting out. I mean, we first started, first thing I did was I bought 4 GoPros, I mean, we didn't know what we were doing. And then we subbed out videography, and then now we've gotten to the point where we've invested our own equipment, and now we're doing it ourselves because we want that control and creativity. And along the way, we've had a great relationship just as friends and helping each other and that kind of thing. We live and breathe duck hunting. And,
Right.
one thing that I always remember that Cade's always said is that I want to kill ducks. I want you. He had a customer call him one time, and I don't know if you remember this, Cade, but I could tell when you got off the phone that it struck you emotionally. And he looks at me and he goes, "You know what? That's what I live for right there." I said, "What?" He goes, "That was a customer that just called me and thanked me about the hunt that they had." And he said, "That's what I live for right there." And the point is that he wants to kill them more than you do.
Yeah, he wants you to kill them more than you do.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't even know. You don't even know as a guest and a customer how bad your guide wants you to kill one if they're a good, reputable service.
Well, I mean, I like not tooting my own horn here, but I mean, honest, I do. How many times have I told you that if I didn't guide, then I wouldn't even. I can tell you, I'm for damn sure not in it to make money. I'm so broke right now, it's not even funny. But I'm not in it to. It just I've met several people, doing it over the years. I was guiding for my stepdad, and then I got into college, and I needed to make some money, and I started my own thing, and I was just going to do it on the side, and then it kind of blew up, and now here I am, and I've met so many good people doing it. I've met some bad ones too. And, the bad ones is obviously you're going to remember them. I could name them off right now, but I'm not going to. But you meet some bad people and you meet some good, I've met a lot of good people though, a lot of them.
Well, it's kind of, one of them experiences that, with just waterfowl hunting at all is you typically, like, if you're going to be a guide, you better have a good joke book in your back pocket because there's going to be some days when, like, there's going to be some days when you're going to have some real good camaraderie.
There he is, and Tony and Tristan know that I do. I got a phone book full of them.
You don't even got to write them down.
No, dude, straight off the cuff.
I just kind of
good, and that's what a good. To me, that's just. I mean, there's been kind of like you're talking about with just meeting. I mean, so many.
But then there's some guys that come and they can kind of entertain themselves. There's going to be one in their crowd that's going to like entertain them no matter how bad it is.
Yep.
I got a group from Georgia that they came with me this year twice, and then they came with me the year before last. They didn't hunt last year. But they got one in their crowd, and I can't remember his name, but he is a funny son of a bitch. He ain't no telling what he'll say. But usually they come, though, like I'll call them. The first time they came, I told them, I said, "Don't come. We just ain't killing no duck." No, we're coming down there. I put them out in the pit, and they smacked them. I mean,
Are you talking about Shay and them?
No, but Shay, that's another group.
Yeah.
Shay Schuler. So last year I called them. I begged them not to come. It was that first week of season. It was 70 degrees.
Yep.
And we killed 4 ducks the first 4 or 5 days of season. And about Thanksgiving Day, we killed you went with me and we went down to my grandparents' farm and we killed, Tony went with me, and we killed 2 mallards and 2 speckle bellies. And that you just thought we'd killed a 20-man limit. I was pumped.
Was
up.
this like 23, like this last year?
23,
24 season?
22, 23 season.
Oh, yeah.
Or, 22, 23 season.
Yeah.
Because this year was 23, 24. But anyway, and then they showed up on that Thanksgiving night and hunted Friday, Saturday. I sent them out there with one of my guides, and me and Tony went over to another pit, and we started shooting. We were shooting spoonbills, and I was like, wow. I said, I guess every duck in the world's over here because, we shot them good, and I was going to move them over there, and I called my other guide, I said, hey, how many y'all got? He said, we're done. I said, what? He said, yeah, we're done. I said, they give up already? He goes, no, we limited out. We're done. I said, I'll be damned. We got over there. They was, taking shots and taking pictures. They took pictures on every piece of farm equipment in Jackson County. and they were, man, you said there wasn't no ducks. That's the best thing I ever seen right there. And all that. They still give me hell about it today. And the next day they go out, break them again. There was 6 of them, 7 counting my guide in the pit. Killed 7-man limit back-to-back day. I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
It might have been like 3 shy because we don't feel the guide limits ever.
Yeah.
But just in case you cripple that one and it gets away and you find it later, you still got to hold
on the way out.
Yeah.
So,
that's the thing is you can't. I've just learned over the years, and waterfowl is about like the stock market. You'll never outguess it, right?
Yeah.
You're never gonna outguess them. There's been days I've pulled up, or like the afternoon before, I'm like, man, in the morning we are going
to smash them.
Guts out, and I show up and we don't fire a shot. And then there's been days I've been like, man, there really ain't even no point going in the morning, but I don't want to miss, so let's go ahead and go. And it turns into one of the best duck hunts you've had all year, and it's kind of like you're talking about. It's just all about just over the years I've been able to really meet and hunt with a lot of just really cool individuals. And we actually, 2020, we had Kevin Costner came in and hunted, and we took him.
Oh, wow.
And it was buddy deal, and he had his 2 sons with him. And, man, just to watch them, that's obviously not something they, do a lot. And just to watch them, it was the day before duck season came back in, so we had to goose hunt. He was just in town, and a buddy of a buddy called and was like, man, you can take him. And so
No, I'm busy, dude. I'm busy. I gotta go get some chicken fingers.
So he came in and man, they shot. They were not super high percentage, which it's when people get in a pit, it kind of throws your depth perception off if you've never done that before, and
wide open.
Yeah, and so
and flipping that screen down, was a little weird too.
Yeah, that's right. And so they had a great time. Ended up killing their limit, and took them a while, killed their limit. But the one thing that he was most mesmerized the whole time was he was sitting down there on the, and he was just like, man, watching your dog has been the highlight of this whole. He wasn't even. We're shooting into groups of 200-300 specks at a time, just 15 yards bowed up, and his kids are just freaking out at the geese, and he was just locked in the whole time on my dog Rue. Just he's like, man, that is just so amazing. I'll hop out, cast her one way, she'll go get one, find him in the stubble, and he's like, that's just the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He was just ate up with watching Rue work.
That's cool.
And, he's a very humble guy. I'll give him he was like, hey, you want us to stick around, help you pick these decoys up, all that. No, y'all go ahead, head on out. So very humble.
Tanner, one thing I'll tell you, which, is kind of, you go back to God things and how things align or whatever, but, the reason we changed our podcast name to the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast is because when Tate asks, Kevin Costner, Grandpa, why you do it if it,
why, if ranching's so hard, why do you do it?
It's One Hell of a Life. Yeah. So that's why we changed our podcast to that.
Really?
Yep.
Well,
yeah, because it's that double-edged sword we live, man.
It is. I think that's what, just kind of really tailoring it all back for, the reason that I'm on here and everything is just with, Venku. That's one of the things that I've been, I'm a big proponent and believer of just morals and, just as long as you, love God and love your neighbor, things will turn out for you. Mm-hmm. And I think that just pretty much to me, that encompasses of being true to everybody. So, like y'all are talking about with Kade, if he calls, says, hey, look, I don't want you to waste your money. Do not come hunting. Mm-hmm. That's the outfitters that we prefer to work. That's the ones we want to work with. Right.
Right.
Because
Integrity.
we don't want to tailor our we don't want to hitch our wagon to somebody who is in the business of, bait and switch. Oh yeah, come down here, man. We're hammering them. And then you get there and they're like, man, you should have been here yesterday.
Right.
When in reality, they ain't killed a duck in 2 weeks. And so we try to do a pretty good job of just vetting. And, so that's for the consumer side. And for the outfitter side is, our main deal is just, we want to make it as easy as an outfitter. If my kind of, and Kade may could even, give us a little kind of testimony on this, but my thoughts are, if you are an outfitter, you have nothing to lose by at least calling and hearing out what Venku has to offer for you.
Well, that's the way it sounds,
agree,
yeah.
Kade? Especially, you're not subscribing to a subscription. It's just a matter of, we just want to know how we can help you. And like I said, Kade may can kind of test
You
that.
don't. You don't. You ain't gonna lose nothing. Y'all, like we was talking about earlier, you take a little bit, but y'all got to make money too.
Yeah.
I understand that, but you're taking a lot of work. I gotta find the client, get them to book, get them to send a deposit, and then make sure they got a place to hunt, make sure they got water, make sure.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
They got decoys, make sure they got a blind to sit in that's brushed. You're taking one chunk of my job out, and that's making it easier.
And as like I said, as we're adding on this new tool that we're actually already adding on now, that we've got added on and we're implementing with the scheduling. It's going to take so much out of a guy's day-to-day life.
That's awesome.
Just that, and that's our goal. Right?
I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. One thing I got to do this year was, and I guided for years in bow hunting in Illinois, but I got to experience what the life was as a guide in Arkansas during goose season. And one thing that I know for sure is that the work never stops. And number two, you don't have time for all that bullshit. I was running as a guide. I'm thinking Kade being the owner, he's way busier than I am. He don't have time for all that crap. He wants to be out there. The only time he doesn't usually go out and hunt with his customers is because he's got something else to do behind the scenes to make your experience better. That's the only time Kade doesn't hunt.
That's the thing. I do not take a lot of people myself anymore.
Because you're doing so much stuff.
I got guys that are guiding for me, and they're here to make money. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
But number one, you got to go, like, a lot of people, it ain't like that water just magically gets out in that field.
Right.
And then pipes.
Yeah. Well, on the years we're really lucky it does.
Yeah, really lucky.
On the years we get really lucky.
It depends on where your field's at. If it's on the higher ground, you just gotta, I'm constantly, I send some people out with a guide, make sure they get out in the pit, make sure the ranger don't run out of gas or just something. That's your worst fear. You got, as a guide, there's so many stressful things. You got to make sure they get out there and
safely.
Then they come back out, and you got to, make sure you want them to kill something, and you're just, when I'm guiding and I'm sitting there and, it's first flight, you're sitting there and you're looking for the first duck, and you shooting time, it's go time. When they shoot that first duck and it hits the water, you get a little bit of relief.
You're almost like a sigh of relief just to
they got something, they got something.
Yep.
And I could only imagine, because what little guiding I've done, it's been like that. But even for me, with people that aren't paying, and I'm like, it's got to be 100 times worse, if somebody's actually got some, money involved. But I've got buddies that have been with me 100 times, and they've smoked them, 90 of them, and I'm still like sitting there, and I'm like, I hardly ever pick my gun up anymore. I just sit there and call, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, man, I just really hope it. I'm sitting there, and then like you're talking about first light, boom, kill the first one. You're like, oh yes,
Good,
all right,
yeah.
At least we got. So we, and that's the thing is, we actually had a guy. We had a little guy sent us a little testimonial video that actually runs gator hunts out of Louisiana. And we deal a lot with him. And, kind of part of his testimonial was he said, hey, if you're good at your job and as an outfitter and you're catching and you're killing, then Venku takes all the other part away. All you got to be good at is catching and killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a perfect way to explain to what we're trying to do for outfitters is we just want you to worry about the fun stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what
and
we
make it easier from the consumer standpoint.
Exactly. If we can help you, and another thing that we have is we actually have a sales team that if you call into Venku, and you inquire about a hunt, then there's actually you don't have to just do it all on the website. We actually have a sales team that actually will get on the phone with you and talk you through the whole process. You say, hey, look, I want to hunt in Arkansas, but I really don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Well, they'll literally say, okay, well, tell us what you're looking for. Are you,
nice.
What do you want? Or you want to elk hunt in Colorado? We got a guy, Bryce, he's really good at, Western hunts, a lot of Western hunts. So you say, I want to elk hunt in Colorado, but I have no idea where to start. Coming from a guy in Arkansas, I don't know about units and draws and, everything else.
Yeah.
And, so, if you call and Bryce, gets on the phone and you're like, man, I don't know. I'm looking at this deal in Colorado unit 61, but I have no idea what any of this means, well, that's something he can walk you through.
That's
and he helps you
huge.
book the hunt and he works you through, here's what, gear to expect, here's what to expect, and so from the consumer side, there's so much. I mean, we just, like I said, our main goal is to just make the hunting experience easy, very, readily available, make it available to even, people that are in big cities or whoever wants to do it, rural communities, big cities. We want to make it available and we want to make it painless on both ends, the outfitter as well as the client. So
that's awesome, man. This has been a very unique type of podcast because we had a true testimonial, but we've really talked some real shit tonight. You know what I mean? And I love it.
And getting to, talk to a company and then have both sides of the fence, us as a customer who's used the company, and then Kade as the outfitter who's used the company.
Yeah.
It's just really neat.
It is. And you guys, if you haven't, Tanner, tell everybody how to get in contact with you guys and where we go from here.
So, if you're looking to get in contact with Venku.com, and that's VENKU.com, look on there. And if you are either side, consumer, outfitter, hop on there, inquire with us. If you're a host and you're an outfitter, so we call our outfitters is actually what we refer to as host. If you're a host, most likely I'll be the one that will kind of contact you and walk you through a few things, depending on what I've got going, but I'll probably be the one that's kind of talking to you. So, and like I said, my name's Tanner Wolverton, and I've lived and breathed it from the get-go, so I know exactly what is needed. And we just, like I said, we're going to try our best to not even try our best. We're going to do our best, and we're going to make, people's, as far as outfitters and consumers, lives a lot easier. So y'all can hop on there and Venku.com, check it out. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all the social media platforms. And we'd be more than happy to work with y'all and just make your lives a little bit simpler.
Good deal,
Roger
man.
that. Kade, you got any last words for us? You're pretty good at those.
I don't know. What do you want me to say?
One hell of a life.
Hey,
It's one hell of a life.
Hey, no. I got one. So when you was duck hunting out there with old Kevin Costner, when y'all had them come around one side or whatever, you just say, Kevin, get ready. We're about to take these to the train station.
That is incredible.
Yes.
That is an incredible.
See, did we lose Tanner? Cade, you there?
I'm here.
Oh shit, we lost. Hold up.
Tanner's come back.
Oh man, we lost you for a second. We'll bring you back in.
Okay.
All right, Cade, Tanner, you there?
Yeah, all that work for that podcast. My dog walked over here and hit the end call button with her nose.
Oh no! All right. Did you hear Cade's ending
just
line?
missed the best ending you ever had up.
I know. I just heard about. All I heard was when you was out there with Kevin Costner.
Oh yeah, do it one more
All
time.
right, go ahead, Cade.
When? Right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
When you was out there duck hunting with Kevin Costner, did you when they were coming around one side of the pit, did Kevin say, "Hey, Kevin, get ready. We're about to take these to the train station."
Yeah. After he left, I was calling him Dances with Geese.
Yeah.
Dances with Geese.
You say,
To the
hey,
train
you
station.
see-
We actually renamed the pit. It used to be called Duckwoods, and we actually renamed the pit to the train station. Now
Dude, you know what I would have told him? I would have been like, you know what my name is? He's like, what? And I'm like, Stands with a duck bill.
Yeah.
It says stands with a fist. Wasn't that chick that he loved in that movie? Was it her Indian name was Stands with a Fist?
I don't know.
Well, I did. I'll tell you what. A buddy of mine, just on a side note, before we get out of here, he told me one time. He goes, "Tony, do you know what your Indian name is?" And I said, "I ain't got a clue." And he said, "Two dogs effing." I go, "Where'd you come up with that?" He goes, "I don't know. It just sounded good." He goes, "It just sounded good."
Yeah. Well, we like I said, it was a good experience. He was a good guy, and it was all around. He they like I said, I don't know, his they shot a lot of shells to shoot their 3. It may have been 2 that year that they were here.
Hey, it's all in the experience of the hunter, right?
They were having the best time in the world, and I was too, just sitting there watching them shoot. It's kind of like you was talking about. Just as long as something is dying, I am happy.
That's
and as
right.
long as there's, some people smiling. So, yeah, guys, it's been, I think we had a pretty good little podcast there. So,
Yeah, hell yeah.
I loved it.
Man.
as for much better, like you said, on both sides of the fence, being able to, and getting on here, being able to just kind of get our company out there, and that's the thing is right now, it's kind of like you was talking about, Tony, kind of Venku, like, what is that? And that's where a lot of people are right now with it, and they don't know that it's a tool that,
Just
either side can use, that's easily accessible and ready to go.
Yeah, brand recognition. But man, we get out in your area, we'd love to shake your hand.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what, y'all come out here, and I know y'all are probably pretty busy hammering them with Cade. So, but y'all get over here during duck season. I just drove down to the farm today. We just got a concealed comfort in, and we're burying it down here on the farm, so on the bow. So y'all come over here, and we'll get in the duck blind, and if nothing's flying, we'll at least walk back there and cook us some breakfast. So we got a little kitchen in there, so we'll get us some breakfast cooked, and we'll at least hang out.
Hell, we'll all come over there, all 3 of us.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. All 3 of y'all got an open invite when y'all get down here. Y'all
give
come down
Kate a
here,
break.
we'll hop in.
Yeah.
Yep. Let Kate get guided for a
That's
day.
right. That's right. He
Something
deserves
unique.
it.
Hopefully I get one.
Actually, when y'all get there, I'm gonna be like Tristan's wife, and I'm gonna hang my calls up and say, "All right,
Yeah.
All right, Kate, take
I'm
over.
gonna let y'all run this one."
Oh, that's right.
I can't wait to see that. Get that on film.
Yeah.
Man, thanks a lot, you guys.
Well,
We appreciate you both.
Yep, thank y'all.
right,
Have a good one.
Southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I'll slow down, standing in the pouring rain.